mind games?
No, it's not an issue that affects the result of the fight. It's just a formal thing. If we comply.
The promotion had arranged substitute judges. They have flown in, and the boxing commission will determine who will.
Tyson Fury's claims that he was robbed in his unanimous decision loss to Alexander Usyk have ignited a firestorm of controversy within the boxing community. Known for his bold and brash persona, Fury has been vocal in challenging the outcome of the fight, and his most recent revelation is bound to fuel further debate. He has alleged that he possesses an audio recording that captures a conversation between Usyk and two of the judges from the fight, which Fury claims supports his suspicions of foul play. According to Fury, the recording provides evidence of a behind-the-scenes conspiracy that may have swayed the judge's decision, resulting in a biased victory for Usyk. This new accusation has drawn significant attention not only because of Fury's status in the boxing world but also due to the serious nature of the claims. If proven true, it could have far-reaching implications, potentially damaging the reputations of those involved and raising questions about the integrity of the sport. The fight between Fury and Usyk was highly anticipated, with both fighters vying for the undisputed heavyweight title, and any suggestion of unfair influence on the result is bound to spark heated discussions among fans, analysts, and boxing officials alike. Fury's frustration following his loss to Usyk is unmistakable, as he vehemently expressed his disbelief over the scoring system used during the fight. One of his primary points of contention was the fact that one judge did not award him a single round after the sixth, while the other two judges only credited him with a single round each. From Fury's perspective, this discrepancy between the actual events inside the ring and the judges' scoring was nothing short of baffling, fueling his strong sense of injustice. In his mind, there was a clear disconnect between what he had experienced in the fight and how the judges had perceived it, which only deepened his frustration. He argued that, based on his own assessment, he had dominated significant portions of the fight, yet the official scoring painted a drastically different picture. Fury went so far as to suggest that the scorecards were so far off that they could only be explained by manipulation or some external influence affecting the outcome. The situation escalated when news began circulating about an alleged audio recording that had surfaced, allegedly containing a conversation between Usyk and two of the fight's judges. According to a reputable news source, the tape was supposedly mediated by Alex Kyuk, a Ukrainian figure known for his involvement in the boxing scene and his close ties to Usyk. The conversation reportedly discussed various aspects of the fight, including what seemed like strategic discussions around how to score certain rounds in Usyk's favor. According to Fury, this conversation was key to understanding why the judges scored the fight the way they did, and it seemed to confirm his suspicions that there were external influences at play. However, the authenticity of the audio tape has become. Fury's accusations of being robbed are not the first time the boxer has made similar claims, as the outspoken British fighter has often criticized the politics surrounding his bouts. However, this particular case seems to carry more weight due to the alleged involvement of judges in a private meeting with Usyk facilitated by Usyk. The mere suggestion that judges could be in communication with a fighter before making their official scoring decisions is deeply concerning for the integrity of the sport, become a topic of intense debate. While the tape allegedly contains real-time discussions about the fight, questions have been raised as to whether it could have been fabricated or, in a more technologically advanced twist, AI-generated. In an era where technology can easily create convincing deep fakes and manipulate audio to sound genuine, the authenticity of the tape has come under scrutiny. Some detractors argue that the tape could be part of a larger narrative created to delegitimize Usyk's victory, casting doubt on its credibility without hard evidence to substantiate the claims. Despite these doubts, certain events leading up to the fight week give weight to the possibility that something unusual may have been occurring behind the scenes. Alex Kyk's involvement in the conversation between Usyk and the judges raises further questions. Kyk, a well-known figure in Usyk's circle, had made several public statements prior to the fight expressing concerns over the perceived double standards and bias in the treatment of Usyk. He had even accused the boxing establishment of leaning too heavily in favor of Fury in the build-up to the rematch. Kyk's outspoken views on the matter were interpreted by many as a form of protest, and his actions seemed to be in line with his frustrations over what he perceived as unfair treatment of Usyk in the lead-up to the rematch. It raises the question of whether outside influences could alter the impartiality of officials, undermining the credibility of the sport and casting a shadow over the entire event. One of the more alarming elements of Fury's claims is the nature of the meeting with the judges. According to reports, Kyk arranged a private discussion between Usyk and the judges after the interview in which he had openly criticized the treatment of the Ukrainian fighter. This meeting, while reportedly intended to clarify certain aspects of the fight, appears to have come across as a blatant attempt to sway the judges' opinions. Fury has pointed out that this behavior, regardless of the intentions behind it, created an environment that was ripe for bias to creep into the decision-making process. Even if the judges were not directly influenced, the optics of the situation are troubling, as they suggest a breakdown in the integrity of the process. The content of the alleged tape remains highly controversial, with no clear consensus on its authenticity. While some believe it could be an elaborate fabrication, others, especially Fury and his supporters, argue that the events surrounding the rematch and the conversation between Usyk and the judges provide enough circumstantial evidence to suggest that something more sinister was at play. It's difficult to ignore the fact that such conversations, if true, could have compromised the fight's outcome and created a situation where one fighter's chances of winning were heavily influenced by factors outside of the ring. Regardless of the ultimate truth of the allegations, one thing is clear: the fallout from this controversial rematch between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk is far from over. Fury's claims have ignited a firestorm of debate, and the potential for corruption or bias in the sport is something that boxing authorities may need to address more thoroughly in the future. Until further evidence emerges, the boxing world will continue to watch closely, waiting for the truth to come to light. Another critical point raised by Fury's team was about punches landing below the navel. They sought clarity on whether punches in that area would be deemed low blows, regardless of the positioning of the shorts or protective cup. This was an important point for Fury's team to address, as the positioning of protective gear can sometimes make the definition of a low blow subjective, and they wanted to ensure that any punch landing below the navel would be universally considered illegal. Ultimately, while the issues surrounding Fury's beard and the position of the shorts might seem trivial in the grand scheme of things, they reflect the intensity of the preparations and the scrutiny both camps were under leading up to this high-stakes rematch. However, it's clear that the real controversy lies in the judging and the broader accusations Fury has made regarding manipulation and unfair scoring. Mind games, it's not an issue like that affects the result of the fight. It's just a formal thing. If we comply with the rules or no, is confusion caused chaos in Rockall last August. Fury's team highlighted the perceived unfairness in the process, particularly when the matter of judges being accepted for fight night was being coordinated. The frustration stemmed from what they viewed as a lack of transparency and fairness in the handling of religious gestures and personal requests. Fury himself was adamant that there was a double standard being applied, questioning why certain actions were allowed while others, like Usyk's prayer, were under scrutiny. In August, when Daniel Du's fifth-round body punch was considered a low blow, Usyk's shorts were high, but no prior clarification or detailed instructions about illegal punches prior by the ringside official in their dressing rooms meant controversy persisted long after their world title bout. Clarity features heavily this time around during Friday's weigh-ins. Alex Cook, Alexander Usyk's promoter, told Boxing News Usyk doesn't care about the beard, but for us as his team we do care because we all have to comply with the rules. We'll sort it out with the commission. I can assume he will not shave it, but something is missing. Maybe they want to help Tyson somehow, but it's dangerous. In the rules you have to shave a beard, or in the rules it says the rules say that the beard has to be trimmed so that its volume. He also likened Usyk not being allowed to kiss. This added layer of controversy further compounded the already tense atmosphere surrounding the fight, with many feeling that the process was being manipulated or unfairly skewed in favor of one side. Fury's comments reflect not only his dissatisfaction with the judging system but also with the broader handling of the event, pointing to what he saw as systemic issues within the organization and the process itself. Option 1 and Option 2, we're not favoring a judge, we're favoring following the rules in our agreement. If the WBC does not follow its own rules, well, I will speak now to the president and see what their position is. Does not affect the punch. Every organization has that, but it doesn't clarify the specific lens of the bear, and for this reason you can't say having beaten Fury by split decision in May to become the first undisputed heavyweight champion since Lennox Lewis, the Ukrainian. Fury, who retained his World Boxing Organization WBO, World Boxing Association WBA, and World Boxing Council WBC titles on Saturday night, was visibly shocked when the scores were read out. Despite being unbeaten in 35 professional fights before facing Usyk, he celebrated prematurely, believing that he had done enough to secure the victory. All three judges scored the fight 1-1, 6-1, 1-2 in favor of Usyk, a result that Fury immediately disagreed with. According to Sky Sports, Fury's frustration was evident as he made his way back to the dressing room. He shared his immediate thoughts with reporters, exclaiming, "Robbed. I swear to God, I thought I won it by at least 2 rounds." His strong reaction reflected the disbelief he felt after hearing the scorecards, which he felt did not accurately reflect the events of the fight. This led to his vocal complaints about what he considered to be a highly questionable decision by the judges, fueling his claims that the result was unjust. 3 rounds, I bossed the fight on front foot all night. I was quite confident. I thought I won that fight again. I think I've got Larry Hamey's I thought I've won both fights, but then again I've gone home with 2 losses on my record now, so there's not much I can do about it. I can just fight me. Art out and do the best I can, but again, speaking in a press conference less than an hour after the fight, Fury provided more measured comments but still insisted the result had been unfair, using his promoter Frank. Fury's frustration continued to boil over as he discussed the controversial decision, with his promoter Frank Warren offering support for his position. According to Fury, Warren believed that he had won by at least 3 or 4 rounds and many others had scored the fight in his favor by a margin of 2 rounds. Fury himself, however, maintained that there was no doubt in Tyson Fury's frustration was palpable following his loss to Alexander Usyk in their highly anticipated rematch. Despite entering the fight with hopes of avenging his loss in their previous bout, Fury was visibly disgusted when the judges scored the fight unanimously in Usyk's favor. The decision, which came despite what many perceived as a closely contested fight, led to Fury storming out of the ring without offering his verdict. In his mind that he had won the fight, stating, "I think Usyk got a Christmas gift." Despite his strong conviction that he had been wronged, Fury acknowledged that there was nothing that could be done about the result, emphasizing, "It is what it is. I am not going to cry over spilt milk. It has happened now." He reflected on his lengthy career in boxing, remarking that you can't change any decision but still couldn't shake the feeling of being unfairly treated. He also made it clear that, while he understood the importance of securing a knockout to guarantee a win, he was confident that he had done enough to earn the victory. Ring straight after the fight, Warren added, "How come Tyson only got 4 rounds in this fight? It's impossible to say that Usyk wins thanks to his spirit. Did you feel it? I didn't feel no spirit. I felt a little bit of Christmas spirit and I think he got a little Christmas gift from them judges." Christmas gift early. He's very disappointed, as I am as well. Everyone along the front of the ring thought it was all the same way. It's nuts. Did you only give him 4 rounds out of 8? I don't get it. Even boxing fans have. Fury's promoter, Frank Warren, was equally critical of the outcome, directing his frustration towards the judge's decision. Both Fury and Warren expressed disbelief at the scores, with many believing that the fight was much closer than the unanimous decision suggested. Warren, in particular, voiced his dissatisfaction, suggesting that the judging was unfair and left a bitter taste in the mouths of both Fury and his supporters. For their scorecards, and boxing fans on social media have ripped into the trio, with many feeling Fury was unlucky to lose. Tyson Fury has just been robbed so freaking bad, no way. That was 116-112 to Usyk, were the words of one user. Young man, go just there. I know there was an AI experiment tonight. Those AI judges didn't count, but do you see that as a potential? What was the score? 11. Fury been robbed there. Usyk has not won by that margin. What fight were the judges watching fumed? A second, a third opined the fight was robbed. The controversy surrounding Tyson Fury's loss to Alexander Usyk sparked widespread debate, with many fans and pundits feeling that Fury had been unjustly robbed. Some supporters believed that Fury had won the fight by at least a round or 2, while others felt it was a draw at best. There were even accusations of a robbery, with Fury's victory seemingly denied by the judges' scorecards. With Fury choosing to leave the ring immediately after the decision was announced, promoter Frank Warren was left to address the situation. Warren was baffled by the scorecards and voiced his discontent with the judge's decision, criticizing the scoring and the overall outcome of the fight. He suggested that a review of the judges' decisions and their future involvement in major bouts should be considered, given the widespread confusion and backlash over this particular result. Absolutely. Well, we could put the World Boxing Council in the midst of all of these. If they are initially fair to Alexander Usyk, there might have been no need for any conversation with the judges. The crucifix, for instance, had caused so much chaos after their undisputed world heavyweight championship title in May. Alexander Usyk was eventually vindicated after careful review of the situation. However, after the cat systematically strangled Fury's hope for undisputed, nearly putting the 6A in behemoth on the canvas to win. The controversy surrounding Alexander Usyk's victory over Tyson Fury was further intensified by a clip that surfaced online, showing Usyk potentially using an inhaler between rounds, which sparked allegations of cheating. The footage, which captured Usyk sitting in his corner after the 7th round, showed one of his cornermen quickly holding an object in front of Usyk's face, prompting some viewers to speculate that he was inhaling something from it. Of the camera, it's not quite clear what the object was, resulting in a widespread controversy theory among the masses. At first look, fight fans did seem to capture Usyk putting something to his mouth in his corner after the 7th round concluded. Naysayers and Usyk doubters immediately claimed it was an inhaler, which is illegal and could have disqualified the Ukrainian champion. Fortunately, smarter heads prevailed and the video was slowed down to show Usyk kissing his cross. It seems silly, but this type of stuff is what causes rumors to start. Also, according to an expose from an MMA journalist, Kristina of Sarova from Europop, the object in question wasn't an inhaler. Instead, it was, brace for impact, a crucifix. Usyk is a deeply religious man who tried to gain strength from God's blessing during the fight. The incident raised concerns, with some suggesting that the inhaler could have provided Usyk with an unfair advantage, particularly in terms of breathing and stamina. The angle of the video made it difficult to clearly identify the object, but the speculation was enough to stir debate among fans and analysts. Many questioned whether this act was against the rules or if it was simply a misunderstanding, while others felt that it potentially tainted Usyk's achievement in winning the fight by kissing the crucifix. Abarasova also highlighted what the cornerman said to Usyk before the latter kissed the crucifix. "You want the crucifix," to which Usyk said yes, and the controversy took hold. In reality, Usyk, along with Fury's collaboration, created history. Something that has become so hard to accomplish in the modern four-belt era of boxing. Despite achieving the greatest honor, Usyk stayed humble, which makes him the greatest champion. Sadly, Tyson Fury and his fans have been making efforts to steal this from him, and in a short response to Tyson Fury and those attempting to steal his why away, he said he posted a picture of a moment in the undisputed heavyweight title bout where he gave Tyson Fury a devastating blow that quickly wrinkled his face like one who's lived for centuries, sending a cryptic message to Fury as a reminder of the dirty experience he had with him in the ring. As it's often said, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and despite not adding a caption to it, everyone got the message that Alexander Usyk was trying to pass across to his opponent. It was a silencing punch that meant his noise was irrelevant, and it was high time he kept quiet. Alexander Usyk has used the image to silence Tyson Fury, but Fury also had his good times in the fight, to the extent that after what can only be called a 12-round battle, the Ukrainian heavyweight made his way to the hospital to get his jaw checked for a fracture. No, I don't worry. However, as he returned to the venue for the press conference, the cut above his eyes stitched a bruised. Usyk made his way to the podium with a smile and his daughter's favorite toy in his arm. With tears in his eyes, Usyk finally settled to answer the flock of reporters gathered ahead of him on such a ceremonious occasion. Responding to a question about the second scorecard giving the win to Fury, Usyk said, "No, I don't worry, I believe I won because we have a winner." Okay, maybe I don't think about it because we have win. When the question changed to the unforgettable 9th round standing 10 count, Fury seemed okay with it. "I don't think about it because we have a winner, no knockout, no problem, but for 12 rounds, it's a big drama," said Usyk King. When asked whether Fury would use their rematch clause, Usyk explained he had been training for the last 9 months as he missed the birthdays of his 3 children and the birth of another one. "Yeah, okay, no knockout, no problem, but 12th round, it's a big drama." Yeah, at the end, Usyk just seemed thankful as he said, "My focus was only this fight. Now I am happy. I want to go back home, go to my church, pray, and say, Jesus, thank you, because for me and my country, it's a big opportunity." With that said, Alexander Usyk clearly didn't cheat against Tyson Fury last weekend in Saudi Arabia. Hopefully people will appreciate the astronomical achievement Usyk has managed to accomplish when big fights are only made for big money. Now, well, fingers at his opponents, the judges, or the corner after a bad performance. "I miss my father." I say my father, "Hey, listen, you live that I live here." Despite remarks the fighters embraced several times, and Fury had kissed Usyk on the head as if in respect and admiration. After Fury's remarks, water sprayed into his face from the direction of US's camp. Usyk motioned for it to stop. Later in the interview, Fury said, "I believe I won the fight, but I'm not going to sit here and cry and make excuses. It was a good fight." He also added, "It was one of the daftest decisions in boxing. I'll be back. The good little man got the decision. We'll go back to our families." After the fight, Usyk shared a picture of himself from the post-fight press conference, reflecting on the battle with Fury. He also posted a clip from the ring, showcasing a moment where he landed a significant shot to Fury's forehead with the caption, "One last time, remember out my life." This powerful moment emphasized Usyk's determination and marked a pivotal point in his career. Earlier in the year, Usyk handed Fury his first professional defeat, making history by becoming the undisputed heavyweight world champion, a feat not accomplished in 25 years since Lennox Lewis. This victory added another monumental achievement to Usyk's already impressive career, solidifying his place in boxing history. Having gone undisputed at both cruiserweight and heavyweight, Usyk's legacy as one of the greatest in the sport continues to grow. Cruiserweight, as well as win Olympic gold at London 2012, but he was in no mood to concede his position as the world-leading heavyweight to Fury. That victory in May had also taken Usyk's rivalry with Fury to new heights of intensity. The Briton had worked with brutal ferocity to improve on his last performance, and he remained the sternest challenge for Usyk in the division. Pursuing this rematch did mean Usyk had to shed the IBF title now held by Britain's Daniel Duo, but his unified WBO, WBA, and WBC world heavyweight. As the championship belts were on the line, the atmosphere was intense. Tyson Fury, who had held the titles at various points in his career, was determined to reclaim them. His intense glare and confident demeanor when he faced Usyk in the center of the ring made it clear that he wasn't going to back down. Fury, who weighed in at 281 lbs, looked significantly larger than Usyk, who had a much leaner physique. Despite the size difference, Fury landed the hardest shot of the first round, catching Usyk with a powerful right cross that made the Ukrainian blink and momentarily back off. This early success for Fury seemed to set the tone for the fight, but Usyk, known for his resilience and boxing IQ, would soon prove why he was the reigning champion. However, came forward to hold the center of the ring in the second round, and his southpaw punches pushed Fury back, but the challenger knocked a solid right into the side of Usyk's head and drew a first complaint from the Ukrainian in the third round. And that's all for now for the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing. Stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.